so crazy.
It was over an hour long.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was we went through like 11:30, I think, and I had to detour around. My sister told me she went through about an hour later than that, and I was like, "What's still going on?"
Yeah.
Because they go up and down every street.
Yep.
So,
Oh, do they?
yep.
I forget about it every year, and
Yeah,
you get
they
stuck
don't make
going
the
through
people
there
come to
every year.
them. They go to the people.
Our grandson plays band from my valley, and he was marching. They'll be down at Kirkland Fair marching.
Yeah, there's
Oh, is that what it is?
Is it?
The head coach is, and then Brendan was the first assistant.
Was there a lot of damage?
Basement had like 4.5 feet of water. Like 3 feet of mud.
Was this furnace okay?
It was up over the furnace.
I see you guys in that furnace.
I easily got it on the road, so I don't have no problem.
My furnace, my basement is falling out all the time. So I don't want to have myself up there for a game. It went down and everything. Luckily it started. So I was like, my hands when I was there. I was like, it's a pain.
Let's go. We stand with pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father, who art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
open meeting?
I don't know what it is.
Because I can't leave the meeting. Just go by your agenda here.
That's up there.
Mark it off as you go.
About to make a motion.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes. Okay. Reading of the minutes and financial report. Is that Smitty usually does that, Amber?
What?
The financial report and minutes.
No, that's what the meters accepted.
Okay.
Comments.
Oh yeah, public comments will be first.
We'll start with him because that way he can get out of here.
He's,
Fine, I'm hearing you guys sound.
he is here for the cameras.
Yep.
Remember,
Oh,
you
okay,
guys
good.
had questions about the cameras, so you
Yes.
wanted to come to the meeting.
So my name is John Maines. I'm with Maines Technology Solutions, local, the Coldport area. I live just up on Crossroads Boulevard. I was actually born and raised in Penns Valley, down on the other side of State College, but we've lived up here for going on 9 years. You guys would really be about my second client that we've had any dealings with in the area, but we'd love to do more business locally. So my daughter, I have kids that go to Glendale out here, play softball. I motocross up at John Ackland's motocross track on Crossroads Boulevard. We love the area. So.
Who ends that up there, Jacqueline?
John Ackland.
I didn't know. you
Yep.
did that.
But no, we are a low voltage, say advanced technology support company. So there's a lot of IT companies out there. There's a lot of electricians that run cable, IT companies that do just IT. We really try to be a one-stop shop. We run the cable, we sell the systems, we install it, we support it after the fact. All local. All of the systems that we sell and support are you buy, you own it. There's no recurring monthly fees. I built my entire business on products and a portfolio of products for that. People don't like to pay for technology after you pay so much for it to begin with. So who wants to continue to that? That's what cell phones are for. Open to any questions. I am prepared to, if you guys wanted to see the software, we can do that tonight as well, as far as the mobile apps, things like that. Turn it over to you guys for questions. We can go over the bid and the proposal.
So you did come look at the park
Yes,
the cameras in the park.
absolutely. Yep.
Here's the,
and
Yeah, and I apologize. I was reading through the proposal here, and I typically would have written exactly how many cameras and exactly what. I don't know. Maybe I was writing your guys' proposal up late at night. So I
right.
apologize, but we'll review that as we go through it.
But the two main things that, well, there's three, down at the park with the memorial
Yep.
down there. Because the one year, about 2 years ago, someone decided to do donuts in the memorial park. So,
Don't find that hard to believe.
and the pavilions, underneath the pavilions,
Yep.
and the children's area,
Yep.
and then our time clock.
Okay.
So, like, who would have access? Would Amber have access to her phone in the office here?
So the system is very, very granular to the extent that whoever you guys tell me has access to what cameras, it can be different for every single person. And then what can they do with those cameras? Can they only view live footage? Can they view live footage and recorded footage? Can they export that footage and save it to their computer, or no? Can they just view it live? And it doesn't have to be every camera. It could be maybe you don't want Amber to see the cameras here at the office. You don't want her to see those ones down there. So a lot of different scenarios that comes into play for. Sometimes a lot of our clients, they'll give access to contractors and their snow removal, things like that they can look at the exterior cameras, see whether they need to come plow, things like that. So it's very, very flexible. Our clients.
Now, those cameras, do they have like night vision on them?
Yep. Everything that we do that has built-in night, day with IR, the day-night vision. The cameras specifically that I specs on, just review the whole proposal in total. So there's a main recorder, the NVR, network video recorder, that would sit here in this building where the internet resides. The 4 designated areas that we discussed when I came and did the walkthrough, I thought we could cover with 4 fixed lens cameras. They are vandal-proof dome cameras. We discussed one in here. I'm sorry, I'll start outside. One for the front of the building, one inside here, one for the garage area, and then one exterior garage area out back. I mean, we would have pretty close to total coverage with that. I mean, aside from not looking up and down the sides of the buildings, someone coming around the building, that would provide pretty well total coverage. Then the second part of the conversation came just as I was getting ready to leave about down at the park in the memorial. So we've done lots of installations like this. So another part of our business, we do lots of wireless installs. So customers that want internet access, or even in this case cameras, in an area where you either don't have internet, you don't have network access, and you also don't want to pay to install a completely separate system down there, because then you're installing a second server, you're incurring that additional cost. So what we use is we call it fixed wireless, high capacity broadband wireless gear that literally creates a virtual cable, if you will. The wireless technology has come so far that you can get just as good of connectivity as if you're plugged into the wall. So we use that and affordable to that note. I mean, in the last 5 years, that price of that gear has come down significantly. So we would extend the network from the building here. We would mount a dish on the building here. I looked at, or the proposal was built around the main building right behind the memorial. And there's restrooms in that building. Is that correct? No.
Off to the side.
Yeah, that's restrooms. Yeah.
In that same building that's right behind the memorial?
This way or the way behind it this way?
It would be behind it that way.
Okay,
if we're
that'd
walking
be the
in.
restrooms.
Okay, that
Yeah,
is.
there's a concession
So
stand.
ultimately, it wouldn't matter which building it is, but the idea is that there's a central location that we would be able to then install another antenna on, one to receive the signal from here. But then another area of concern was the maintenance shed and stone and things like that. So then we would have to relay that signal up to those cameras to be able to get signal up there. So we wanted a central location. Again, it doesn't matter where that is, as long as one we can see here, and then you can see where you're trying to get coverage at. And we require 110 power is all we need. There's 110 power there, an outlet we can plug into. We install weatherproof enclosures, house all of our gear now, lock the box up so everything's.
Now, how long is that video retained for?
So I spec every system for between 30 and 45 days.
Okay.
Having said that, we spec for 6 camera system. 2 of the cameras are multi-sensors. By default, I'm throwing a 5 terabyte hard drive in there. Probably going to be like 60 to 90 days, pretty much. Probably going to exceed that mark. So I always leave a little bit of headroom, a lot of headroom.
And
so there's room for
should
growth.
be able to burn video if we need to turn any video over to the
Absolutely.
state
Yep.
police.
So all of our recorders that we build, so we build the recorders in-house. We don't put CD drives in them anymore. That's more like you said burn, but I assume you probably meant USB drive, things like that.
Yes.
So even to the extent, we don't even put a monitor on our recorders anymore, because the idea is that they're on the network. As long as they have internet access, anyone you say has access can access that footage from anywhere if they have internet. So the idea is hands off, nothing to mess up if nobody's touching it. If you log in from your computer, from your mobile devices, your iPad, your cell phones, and you pull the video that way.
Okay.
You save it to your local
video.
Yes, absolutely. That's we can go over that if you would like. I mean, there's different levels of camera resolution, as you can imagine, priced accordingly. So what I spec'd was a 4 megapixel camera for here at the building, because most of the shots are relatively short. There's not a lot of distance. So I don't pull anything less than 4 megapixel anymore, unless it becomes an issue of budget or things like that. Then I work with customers, but I think the industry standard is around 4 or 5 megapixel.
What would be the ones we'd have at the park, you think?
So at the park, what I quoted, so again, 4 megapixel. The difference at the park is we've been wildly successful with these new cameras. I brought a picture of them because everybody asks. So I quoted a multi-sensor camera at the park. Multi-sensor, and then it's a single camera housing. It takes a single cable, but it's actually 2 cameras. So 2 cameras, one being a fixed wide-angle lens, so it maintains the same image all the time, wide angle. You tell us what's the most important direction, that's the way we aim. And then the bottom one is what they call PTZ, so pan tilt zoom camera. I've never been a huge fan of pan tilt zoom cameras because surely somebody logs in, they move the camera around, they're looking this way, and it doesn't get moved back, which that's a setting we can set to revert back. But it seems like more often than not, you're looking this way and something happens over here. So now that we have these multi-sensor cameras, you can always maintain that important image that you're looking for, and still have the ability to move the pan-tilt zoom camera around.
So I got another question for
Yep.
you. Your cameras, most law enforcement agencies now are up to date, they have facial recognition.
Yep.
So will they be able to, with that 4 pixel, depending how far it is and how close
Depending
it
how
is?
far, yeah. So with the PTZ, the difference is we'll be able to zoom in on that, and that's an optical zoom as opposed to a digital zoom. So the PTZ would retain that sharp image quality the whole way in, as far as you're zoomed in. And then on top of that, you still have digital zoom. So yes, with the 4 megapixel PTZ, yes, 100%.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a question? Michelle and I collect taxes in here, and we have a lot of dead time because, when you don't have customers coming in and out all the time.
Sure.
If her and I talk about our personal lives or something, is that gonna be on these cameras and stuff while we sit
No.
in here and collect taxes?
No audio, at least I didn't quote any audio. So the system has the smarts built in to be able to record audio if it was ever a requirement or a need. But no, the cameras we quoted do not have audio capability. Actually, the PTZ ones, I correct myself, the PTZ ones for the park do have the capability. But again, it's outside, they're usually up high on poles. It's not a whole lot outside, but the capability is there. But yes, the system itself, so let me talk about that. So the software platform is called Hanwha WiseNet Wave. Most anyone in this room has probably never heard of Hanwha, but it's Samsung. So your smartphones, your Galaxy, your Androids, they're all Samsungs. Same technology that they put in their cameras that you got on your smartphones.
So they're recording at all times. They're not
So
activated by motion.
99% of my customers record on motion only. There's a couple things that does for you is, especially with outdoor cameras, there's so many outdoor environmental factors that you don't have control of. So there's always going to be some amount of motion that you will pick up outside regardless, but you can do that on an individual camera basis. So you could have the camera inside here record 24/7 all the time. You can have the garage camera record motion only, or the outdoor camera record. It's per camera, however you guys record it.
If we ever decide to change it, we can do it.
Yep, change it on the fly. Users, we touched on user permissions as far as per camera, what they can do with each camera. Disable users on the fly, you can re-enable users right from, so there's 3 different ways to view the cameras. There is a web interface through your Google Chrome or your Internet Explorer, things like that. I don't use the web interface for almost anything except for enabling or managing user permissions. They only have the web browser viewer to compete with other vendors. Where this product really shines is the mobile app, and then also the software that you install on your computer. Touch a little bit more on software. WiseNet Wave is the only system. I've been doing this for cameras specifically, going on probably almost 20 years. Started with another company. I'd never done any camera work prior. They're out of state college. I was with them for about 10 years. The time that I was there, the 8 years that I've been in business myself, it's the only camera system I've ever used that is completely compatible across the board. Windows, Mac, iPhone, Android, works with every device. So every other system I've ever used, one or the other.
Well, we definitely need them in, so we'll have to further discuss that issue. Now you have the waste authority over there, but
Yes.
that's what I thought.
Same system, same platform that's over there. Didn't have the multi-sensor camera, at least not this multi-sensor camera. When we did that install, we used a couple of those, but we did do some smaller PTZ cameras for them. So, and we did, so they've got 2 sites on the wave, I believe. So they've got the main office there, and then they've got one of the watersheds, or one of the tanks, Almondsville tank, pump house and stuff is on the wave platform as well.
Okay. Amanda, you have anything?
expandable. I didn't touch on that. So I mean, you guys have a lot of older animals. So this is an IP-based camera system, as opposed to traditional camera systems, which we refer to as analog now. Analog systems, you used to be locked in. It would come in, say, 4 camera systems, 8 camera systems, 16. If you filled that up, you had to get a whole new recorder box. These systems, this system would usually support up, we say, it's not unlimited, but up to about 64 cameras.
So you could always add more to it.
Yes, you can add any more that you want, anytime on the fly. The only thing that's required is the camera, obviously, installation, and there is one-time licensing per camera, where that comes into play. Again, one-time, non-reoccurring, but as camera technology advances, better cameras become available. Say in 5 years, you guys say, "Oh, these cameras are crap now. We want these better cameras." We simply uninstall, deactivate those camera licenses, install the new cameras, reactivate the licenses. You already own the license. So,
Any more public comment? You done?
I believe so.
Any more public comments?
Yeah,
After 90 days, then it just records over the old.
So after the recorder's full, yes, it eats its tail, you say. So pretty quickly after the system's installed, usually about a week, we reevaluate. And what I do just standard, there's a functionality built into the software. It does a full cast for full storage. We can go into that, and it takes that week's worth of recording that it already picked up based off of the number of cameras, how much storage is in the recorder. It'll do a forecast for full storage. It'll tell us within the day how many days you guys will have with storage.
Thank you.
I have a check here for the borough for $2,800.50 from the taxes that I collected for this month. And we're also here to ask about us going to the convention. They told us last month that they would give us a answer. We figured it up. It costs each taxpayer $1.25 to send us to the convention, and we get all kind of information out of that. I called down today. Last year we talked on the lottery money. I called down today and I found out Amber, yours came through and you were getting the lottery money off of your taxes this year. Smitty's came through. Tomley said you didn't send yours in.
Probably didn't.
So, and Mike Clarkson, his came through, so he'll be getting the lottery money. So I'll be at least about $260 off of your tax bills. I think you already get it. Check if you don't, I'll get you the information, fill out the forms and send it on. I had 34 people that was eligible for that this year. And I fixed up all the forms, filled them out for them. All they had to do was sign them and send them in.
How much did you say it saved?
What?
How much did you say it saved?
$260 on your school taxes. So Tom, if you want another form, I'll get it for you. It'll have to be in by March the 1st of next year. But as soon as you fill it in, they told me that they earmark them so that they're in a box so that they know who to give the lottery money to the following year. So I'll continue to work on that. I called down today there to they sent our books to print yesterday. We have to have our taxes out by August the 1st. So we'll probably get them in a couple weeks and start and send them out, and I'll go through my book again and see who all don't have the Homestead Act, and I'll go and fill out the papers one more time. I can fill them out, but I can't mail them in, and like I said, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make them drink, so. But we would like to go to the convention if at all possible.
Do you have any information on that convention, Nyla?
It's coming out this week. They told us the rooms will be $139 plus tax. We stay for 3 nights. I pay for the 1 night and the council pays for the other 2 nights. Classes for me is $190 and classes for Michelle is $150. And they always gave us a $50 gas card to go. So like I said, it comes out to $1.25 per money.
So my question is, so that's gonna roughly cost the borough $718 roundabout.
I think it's right at 690 some, I think, is what I figured up with. They gave me the price for the tax and everything. I think it came up to
And,
$690 some.
and another question is, the committee that you belong to, is it PSTCA?
Yes,
So a question that I have is, it has area seminars available May 18th. It's, was a Thursday, Monroe County Tax Collectors Association. $75 per person, includes continental breakfast and lunch. And that was in Tannersville, PA, from 9 to 3.
okay, is that for the boroughs or is that for the township? Because the township has completely different,
Well, I'm just going by what they have on their
Yeah.
webpage here. And
well, this is the major convention. There's usually almost 400 people there.
And there was one for June 14th. $70 per person, includes continental breakfast, and
Now, where's that at?
that was at the Sand Spring Country Club in Drums, PA. That was from 9 to 3.
I have no idea where it's at.
So my question is are these, like these ones here, are these just for updates?
Probably. We get a lot of information. This year they're gonna have the
Plus
post,
you get credits towards your,
this year they're gonna have the post office there. We have so much trouble with the United States Post Office because they are not allowed to give us addresses. So there's people moving into the town here that never get taxes because there's no way for me to get them. The water authority sometimes will give me an address, but the post office absolutely will not give you anybody's address. They say it's against the law. I work for the government and they work for the government. You would think there would be something there that they could do. So the United States Post Office is going to have representatives there at this convention this year to go over all this stuff. They have lawyers there that will cover us if we get into a lawsuit or anything.
But you
So-
pay dues for that though, right? So
Yes.
you pay dues for that, so you're locked into that membership.
Yes,
So that doesn't mean that you have to go to this every year.
no, but it is
it's very informative.
very informative.
Well, I said what I had to say. That's on the council to decide, but I just wanted to
They've
throw it out
done
there.
us for the last 5 years.
I understand that, but we don't have to,
No, I know you don't have
Absolutely
to.
not.
because we're trying to save the council money plus the taxpayers' money.
Well, I
Like-
bring in the council, I bring in $60-some thousand a
The
year.
working person brings in the $60,000.
Well, I'm the
It
one that
wouldn't be
has
there
to
without the
collect it.
tax collector, John.
Well, I'm just saying what I'm, we could have spent, listen, we could have spent $7,000 to $8,000 to have that levy cut. We didn't, we took another route
Well, that's wonderful.
to
That's
save,
great.
to save the taxpayers a huge amount of money.
Well,
But this just seems like it's getting more and more expensive every year.
it's the same amount every year, it has not gone up.
I mean, $600 where you could go for a workshop for one day. But
When did you say that is?
October the 20th and 21st period? October the 20th and 21st.
Yeah, the 65th.
Yeah, it's the 65th convention. And just like I said, if I wouldn't have went last year, I wouldn't have went to all this trouble to try to help 34 taxpayers. I didn't have to do that at all.
Well, I don't think we'll be voting on it tonight, will we? I don't think it's really nothing to serious. I don't think. What do you think, Jim?
Well, you can't vote, there's just two of us, and then we don't have to vote for it, really.
Any more?
Thank you.
Jerry, you have something?
Yes, I want to thank the borough for the right to know. And I had one question after looking over all the documents. It appears that you have about $500,000 sitting in an account that draws about 1 point some interest. And Pledge It, which you have and you use, gives you 4 point, and you would have enough money to pay for Mrs. Henry to go to the thing. If you just move that money over, that's my observation of what I saw in the documents, but I really appreciate the courtesy and the kindness of your secretary. Don't ever fire her. She is an excellent secretary, and I appreciate all the documents I have here. And we had one, at the last meeting, we had one dissenting statement, and it sounds like the Honorable Mayor is dissenting and doesn't have a vote, but I would give my tax money to the tax collector to go to this. It's very beneficial, and it's well spent money. And if you don't believe that, you're permitted to come. The Honorable Mayor could come and go to our meetings. That we can't go into the legal part of it, but you could come as a guest, and we'd appreciate you coming. It's in Pittsburgh. It is well worth the money. The things that I learned last year, I benefited, and the borough benefited from it. And
Are you going this year, Gary?
yes, I am. My borough will not pay for anything. They don't even pay for the stamps. So, thank you for the privilege to speak.
That is illegal. They have to pay for all your supplies.
Yes.
There's no more,
We're good.
Are you the chairman tonight?
I guess.
Okay. I didn't know who to speak to. I call you Mr. President. Thank you for the privilege to speak.
I guess it's committee reports, huh? How'd the yard sale go?
Decorating.
She's not here though.
No.
We just had a little chances on a half a pig the past couple months. Did decent. Local people won, Vicky Kitchen won the half a pig, John Collins won grilling package, and Shawna Landick won a barbecue package or something.
What was going on down at the park here with the bouncy houses? Was that you guys?
That was
the rec recording.
Was that the wreck?
Yeah.
We've been just vacations and going to festivals and
How's that coming in for the fall festival?
slow like always, usually picks up August, September. But we got one or two different food trucks.
I know somebody else might be interested in jumping on that bandwagon. We just started out.
Okay.
I'll give you information.
Talk to Skinny.
Oh yeah, he comes every year. I talked to him at the car show.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Guess that's it for committee reports. Mayor, you're up.
Yeah, I just got a couple things. There's still blighted property around the borough. Tom, I'll have to get with you with the list of addresses for that blighted property so that we can send the forms out and get that taken care of. If that's not taken care of, then we send it to the magistrate's office. The road going over to the sewage plant. Can we try to get that fixed? Because instead of putting a Band-Aid on it, apparently everybody likes to put Band-Aids on stuff. And
You want to do the thing?
no, I want to have Joe put a full patch on it.
Right, especially when I can cut it.
Well, it's constantly flooding out,
Right.
and you know, it's instead of putting a Band-Aid on it, just like what they did over at the fire hall. They dug that all up. One big rainstorm, they threw it into a shell. One rainstorm came, dug it all out, and I told them, I said, if you would have fixed it the first time, you wouldn't have wasted more money. Everybody wants to put a Band-Aid on everything.
What I mean is cut it take it down, put a little bit of a base to it, and then do the top on that.
We said about my dad, we're just waiting for them to get everything finally cleaned up and back to normal, and then it's gonna happen again, not further down lower from where they fixed the place. Instead of just putting a whole new one.
Well, they don't wanna spend the money.
Well, they're gonna be spending a lot more if it happens.
That's
again.
exactly it. They spend more money fixing it because they wanna put a Band-Aid on it. Instead of doing it right the first time.
Well, they like spending money, that's what's coming.
That's all I got.
Maintenance report, no.
So there is a fence that needs fixed. His name's Bill Smith. Drew, whenever he worked for the borough in the wintertime, he backed the dump truck into it and smashed his fence. Joe was supposed to fix it in the spring or the summer, and he doesn't have time to fix it, so he was wondering if we could hire a contractor to fix Bill's fence.
Where's this at?
Yeah,
By
what's the
my
guy's
dad's.
name? What's his name?
Bill Smith. And he has been calling a lot, wondering when it's gonna get fixed. And
What kind of fence is it?
He said about your dad.
It's right where Chrissy's and over now.
Put up on the hill on Bourbon Street.
Oh, up
Go
this.
by-
Up
Yeah,
this.
straight out.
I got it. No,
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's a wooden fence.
For some reason, I was thinking your dad still lived up this way.
I know he doesn't.
No, only, yeah.
What, like one of those split rail fences,
Yeah, like one of those, you know those wooden fences, have like a pool and then.
like the log.
Kind of
Yeah.
like a triangle at the end.
That shouldn't be that hard to fix.
I don't know how much damage he did to it.
Oh, you put the whole thing
Oh, he the whole thing?
out. Not the whole fence, but like the whole section.
Oh, really?
I was wondering who did that.
Drew did that.
It's more money to pay them.
You want me to get a quote on it, or?
If you're asking me, I say let do it.
What?
I'd say do it.
Yeah, I don't understand,
That's my opinion.
what all he's got going on that he doesn't have time to fix
Well, I
it.
know you've been mowing the debt for levy, but
Yeah. So, I mean, that ain't gonna take,
Maybe 2 hours.
All summer.
That big of a fence now.
that's my opinion on it. I mean, I think we should get, cause it shouldn't take that long to fix.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to put a post in and rails.
But as long as he puts it back to where the property owner had it.
Exactly, I agree.
I don't want it done half.
Right.
I want to put back this way the property owner wanted it.
Right, I agree. And you can get the pieces for that from Gills.
Fuel tank, the diesel tank down in the garage have a hole in it. It's just like a pinhole, but it's dripping diesel out. So is it okay if I call Nitty Oil to see if they can replace it or at least fix it?
Do we own it or do they?
I believe they own it.
If they own it, they have to replace it.
And
Yeah,
they
yes.
also have a gold plan with them. They always come and do like the maintenance for free and stuff, so.
Right, if it's just a, like a skid tank, right? It's on,
Yeah,
yeah, so if they own it, they have to replace it. If it's due to just natural, what do you wanna call it, wear, tear, deterioration.
and if they don't own it,
And then we're
Then
gonna
it's
provide
up
it because I do not want fined by DEP.
No, and if it's, is it leaking or is it just seeping out right now?
just see.
It don't matter.
Okay.
It needs.
No, but if we can get some pigs down,
Mhm.
does Joe have any of that down there?
if you
I
need,
didn't ask.
if you need pigs, I'm sure if they took contact Terry Collins, they can get some off the fire company.
Yeah, if we own it, we'll have to get it replaced for sure.
What?
If we own it, we'll have to get it replaced.
Yeah.
In fact, they even have what they call pig pans over there. There's a pan with absorbent right in it. You can slide it under.
Thursday through Friday. And he's the only one we got for, that put in for the part-time position. There's the progress.
Before we get off maintenance, on Julia Street, right there right in front of
The
Brenda.
signs?
No, there's a big hole starting there. Well, not starting, it's there. In the road. If we could just get some coal patch just to,
Did he get those signs fixed for 911?
I don't know, he said he was gonna do it today, so.
Okay. I'll look tomorrow. If they're not fixed, they have to be replaced. That's from the fire chief. That takes precedence over anything.
Talking about the green ones?
The roads, he has the roads mixed up. Yeah, tell him that takes precedence before anything else because that could be a life or death situation.
So what's you guys' input for the part-time worker?
He's the only one applied, I guess. He did it before too, didn't he?
We'll have to have a motion if we're gonna hire him.
You want to table it over the people
We'll make a motion now.
yeah,
Just get it done because one person ain't getting stuff done.
Can I motion it or no?
no. I'll motion Jeff because, we gotta get something. We have to get it.
A lot of stuff to do.
Right.
How much are we paying him an hour?
Was it in the, it wasn't in the, advertisement?
No.
How much we pay Joe? We'll pay him $12.25, I think. That's my thing. You know, pay him equal as Joe because he's probably gonna be doing a lot more work. I don't wanna pay a guy less money to
Right.
do more work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotta make a motion.
I'll motion.
Next is new business. So we were talking about before about doing a right to know fee schedule. I did reach out to Shelley from Peace Walk, and she said we don't have to pass a resolution, that we just have to make a motion on setting up a fee schedule, which we could go by the open of office, if I'm saying it right, nope, nothing, yeah. It's in here. This would be the fee schedule, so we would put it up on the door, and then we could put it up on the office door too. But it would be like, for black and white copies, we charge 25 cents per copy. And that's normally, you know, what we get. So we just have to have a motion on that if you guys want to do that.
I'd be willing to pay for the documents you gave me, so.
Yeah. We've been needing to do it for a while, so.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's legit. It's just my opinion.
What?
I think it's legit.
Yeah.
Because you found it on his webinars
Yeah.
that they come out with every month. Is it every month they come out with a new
They actually
webinar?
come out like almost weekly. There's like, like every other week. There's a right from there.
And this is where you got all this printout from there too, right?
Yeah.
Right above the old gas.
Okay. I just figured I'd give you an FYI on that. PennDOT. Randy Albert sent me an email saying that he is working with, the people that do the PID loan that we have for the bridge. Because we got the loan out for 1.5, the bridge was 1.3. We owe 136,000 and some odd dollars to it. So he's trying to lessen that so we don't owe that much. So he's been having meetings in Harrisburg. So he said he will get back to us and hopefully he can get that down for us. The levy inspection, Joe walked with them and they said everything looked good. They said that there was one pipe that had like shell or dirt in it. It was like blowing out, which you know would take like 5 minutes to even clean it out, 5-10 minutes. The only issue him and her had were the EOP plan. This one's for you, Mark.
I'm listening.
Okay. The EOP plan, it needs to be updated. A lot of information is very outdated. So I can give you a copy of what it looks like and then you can go from there.
Okay.
Can you try to get that done ASAP so we can get that faxed to them?
Yeah, I have to take a picture of it and send it to Leon. He is like the head guy at US Army Corps, so.
Did they point out what they didn't like or what?
No, they said that, about the levy being mowed, they said, you know, we were getting it done, they can obviously see that, so they were fine with it. But other than that,
For the EOP, did they point out what they didn't like about it?
yes.
Okay.
But
That'll give me, it gives me a starting point, but I
it's
never did
contact
that before.
information, it's contact information on there, it's very outdated. So.
Okay, just so it gives me a starting point.
Yep.
So I can,
Did they, does Joe have to send in pictures of him fixing the part they didn't like him to levy to?
Yes.
I figured.
As soon as I get it cleaned out, they'll send a picture to Leon.
Do you have to test the sluice gates anytime?
What is that?
The sluice gates, do you test those?
No.
You don't?
no, we're not required.
So at a time of flood,
They can stop anytime they want and just test it.
okay, but you don't have to.
No.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President.
No, that's all I have.
Guess that's it.
Anything else?
We need a motion to adjourn the meeting. So we're adjourned then, huh?
Thank you, Mr. President.